News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Salom Adunu, and I'm here with
Akusia Ochre.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, tricycle operators block roads in the Kumasi metropolis to protest the Assembly's decision to bar them from working in the Central Business District. Meanwhile, Asawasi MP intervenes to get them off the street. Also, an Eyewitness News office of the Special Prosecutor freezes accounts of beleaguered former minister Cecilia Dapa as part of investigations into her lifestyle following discovery that she kept millions in her house. There is more on this later. Still on Eyewitness News, 5 communities in the northeast region flooded and cut off from the rest of the region after torrential rains earlier today. Details on this shortly. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Economist Dr. Patrick Isumain criticizes calls for the resignation of the governors of the Bank of Ghana.
The business news is in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. Your comments are welcome via WhatsApp line 0549986996. We are also live across the country on Premier 100.5 FM in Takrady, Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady, and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. In the Boni region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Right 90.1 FM in Somanya in the AC region, and Holy 98.5 FM in Aflao in the Volta region. In the northern region, we are on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi and Wed 88.3 FM in Zuarungu in the Upper East region. In the Upper West region, we are on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa. Akusia gives us our very first story.
In our first story, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has frozen the accounts of the former Sanitation and Water Resources Minister, Cecilia Dapa, pending further investigations. City News sources indicates that the OSP has filed a motion to confirm seized money from the office. And now the OSP is investigating the former minister for corruption and corruption-related offences following the revelation that she was keeping more than $1 million in her house. This comes whilst the police and attorney general are prosecuting persons accused of stealing the alleged monies from the minister's house.
We'll go to the phone lines now and speak to Martin Pebu, who's a private legal practitioner and one of the persons who have been following this story and have been making calls for things like this to happen. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. How does this news come to you that a special prosecutor, first of all, has administratively frozen the assets and accounts, or some assets or accounts and accounts of the former minister? How does that come to you for starters?
Oh, hello. It's super duper. I say it's super duper. Marvelous. Marvelous because, this thing, that this current situation of the freezing of the account, there were whispers of it in town. And yet some people, remember even the OSC has said that they have found something significant. Then somebody put figures into it and said they had counted money for 5.5 hours, and then others came to say it's not true, blah, blah, blah. So the main thing is that there had always been that expectation that we're going to get this big news, because I keep telling all the stations I grant interviews to on this matter that Mr. Kisei Jabin said he had found something significant. So this really fits the billing. Yes, this fits it. That, yes, they have finally done. Because the grapevine, what I'm hearing is $5 million, okay, in one account, and then over 40 million Ghana in another. Yeah, you see the documents they are talking about. That's what I said. I'm like, wow, this is super duper that the OSC is able to act quickly like this to freeze the account. So that's the right thing. Now we are going to the next stage, which is that the freezing is under Section 38 of the law, but under Section 39, the respondent, that's to say Madam Dapa, will be given her day in court to contest the OSP if she thinks the account should not be frozen going forward. Because under the law, the account can be frozen for as long as, let's put it generally, in the first instance, it can be 12 months, but if the OSP needs more time beyond the 12 months, they'll go for extension. So that's how come Madam Dapa will be given the opportunity to come and fight in court to show why the account should not be frozen. And it will be interesting, because so far we haven't seen any business that Madam Dapa is running to get such a colossal sum of money. So maybe for the first time we will see what business. But that will be interesting. Then GRA will come in, where they will see how long that business has been running, that business could yield her such a colossal sum of money. So these are exciting times. And look, Sarah, I'm a lawyer, but sometimes let me speak as an ordinary citizen. This is exciting because, President Kufuor has been pretending that there will be no corruption in his government. There will be no corruption. He will not countenance it. Now it's egg on his face. Serious egg on President Kufuor's face.
But Martin, the fact that we've seen money in her account, that doesn't conclusively mean that he might have had the money through corrupt means. So maybe to jump to say that corruption in his government, wouldn't that be too much of a quick conclusion to make, or a hasty conclusion?
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's all within, because you see, the reason it's all within is that when this money was found, when the story came out, Madam Dapa tried to say the money belonged to the deceased brother. That was when the case was spoiled. Let me speak Ghanaian English. Yes, they spoiled the matter by saying the deceased brother. So as soon as you start, you're a lawyer, you go to court. When an accused, a suspect begins to make statements which don't check out, then you lose the trust of the court. Several cases where you make one statement which conflicts with this and another. And it's not only even an accused person, a witness generally. If a witness comes to court and makes one statement and then contradicts himself, of course, there is room for minor, inconsistencies with dates, etc. But this one is serious business. Madam Dapa, who owns the $1 million? Then at first you say, oh, no, it's not mine, it's for my brother. Then when the widow said the brother is dead, the deceased brother's widow is now threatening to sue, has engaged lawyer William Kusi, who is preparing to sue, and that's also been published. Then you see Madam Dapa beating a retreat. So with this, we can only begin to look in the direction of corruption. Because, and so far, look, you know how this is that you are a PR expert. I mean, Madam Dapa would have resources to engage PR experts. Why would you sit down for rumors and bad news to spread to all ends of the world? Then people will make judgment before you now bring out the truth. No, the world, it doesn't work like that. Even Madam Dapa didn't need a PR expert to start fighting if that money was her money. That's if it was genuine money. She didn't need to come and hire you, Madonu, lawyer, journalist, PR expert to help. No. Common sense would have told her that, hey, no, my name will spoil. Like, let me speak Ghanaian English a bit. Like, she's going to lose her reputation if she doesn't start fighting quickly. You see, so the way she's been nonchalant about bringing a proper defense, her first defense didn't check out. It didn't jive that the money belongs to the brother. That defense has unraveled, totally unraveled and thrown into the dustbin. So at this stage, it's difficult to come up with another defense, because any other defense that comes up, people are like, madam, and all that long time you were saying it belongs to your brother, all this. So that chance is gone.
But
so
are the two issues not different? So, for example, the cash as stolen by the house helps, that is what she said belonged to people, her brother, her mother, etc. But now we are dealing with the accounts. The monies in her accounts could have been legitimately earned, and maybe the trails that may come up later, or the trails she may have, may show that indeed the monies were legitimately earned. The two issues, I think, are different, are they not?
No, they are interconnected, and it's good. Tell them, I see, you're a lawyer, so naturally you have to play devil's advocate so that you bring balance to your story. Yes, but on the facts of this case, they are intertwined. It's the $1 million and the 300,000 euros, etc. case that led the special prosecutor to search her and then to apply to the banks to freeze their account. So it's this money, they say follow the money. Even the general public, as soon as this money came out, then lay people, you didn't even need lawyers to make the point. Lay people started saying, hey, OSP, act quickly or go to a house. OSP, act quickly, because it tells you that there is more. Trust me, somebody who keeps $1 million at home, then the bank account will be full before you would usually keep so much at home. Because then the reasonable thing is that that now the bank, the eyes are too many looking at the account. So you would stop taking that to the bank and then you want to keep such a colossal sum. So it's intertwined, yes. But theoretically, you have a point that it's possible that they are separate. But on the facts of this case, from what I'm understanding, it's intertwined. And look, sometimes if we obey theoretical rules too much, we'll let suspects run off. Look, people even made a connection between the World Bank projects, the $48 million project, and this money, where they asked her in Parliament, Mother, what did you do with the money? They said, we dredged the Odor River and then some other thing, and then the money was finished. People are like, how? What kind of dredging, uncle, that $48 million were finished? So please, let's celebrate as ordinary citizens. I don't know whether it was on your network or another one. I said it, that look, let's start celebrating. Once Kishi said there was something significant, I knew it. So I believe those stories, that $5 million in one account and then 48 million cedis in another. I believed it, but of course, they had to wait for due process. So you have a point that theoretically they can be separate. I mean, practically, I'm going with the theory that they are intertwined. And so it's going to be difficult for Madame Dapa to explain. And once again, I'm saying that she, knowing that OSP had frozen her account, as I said, no, common sense would have dictated that she comes out forcefully, puts out the facts ahead to show that, look, it's not even only this $1 million. Look, I have other businesses. These are my businesses I've run. This.
But we hear she's into she's a hotelier. She's on hotel business, some cosmetic business we've heard also in the past week, and a few other things we understand she's doing.
Salom, me too. The sources I've heard, they are saying that these are palpable falsehoods. And I repeat, I also say I need to have come into the media, so I also have sources. I also have a way of checking. They are saying that those are palpable falsehoods. So let's not repeat these cosmetics and the rest. That's why I said, Salom, we didn't even need a PR expert lawyer like you to come and defend Madame Dapa. If somebody puts out your name, hey, Salom, you have this money, you cannot earn such money. You need to go and look for a PR expert. You even start. At least later, yes, you need experts. At least the first thing is that, hey, you want to go and douse the fire. But the way Madame Dapa is stuck like a lame duck for all this to go on, no, you can't recover. If you don't start defending the thing straight from the get-go, it's not going to work. Anything you bring subsequently, you see that the public will say it's an afterthought. And that's what the public has been saying. Anything you bring subsequently, once you don't bring out your side of the story, and they say it's an afterthought. It's an afterthought. I would be surprised that Madame Dapa earned that money genuinely and has sat down for us to believe all this on truth for how many weeks now? No, it doesn't add up.
Very well. Very well. Martin, thanks so much. Martin Pebu is private legal practitioner. Thanks so much for speaking to us as always. And we'll be following this story. We'll be coming back to you some other time for updates and analysis on this. Martin Pebu is a private legal practitioner. He's been following this story and other anti-corruption related matters. And we're grateful that he joined us on the line. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now let me provide you some information or insight from the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017 Act 959. Section 38 is what the Special Prosecutor is proceeding on in this particular circumstance. It says that where the Special Prosecutor considered that freezing of property is necessary to facilitate an investigation or prosecution, the Special Prosecutor shall in writing direct the freezing of A, the property of a person or entity being investigated, or B, specified property held by a person or entity other than the person or entity being investigated or prosecuted. 2, the special prosecutor shall within 14 days after freezing of the property apply to the court for a confirmation of the freezing. So the application, we understand, is gone to the court is for the confirmation of that freezing. So as we speak, the freezing has been done administratively because the special prosecutor, by the law I just read out to you, has the power to do so. And he has the power to do so only within 14 working days. And of course, you can understand why it was made 14 days, so it is not arbitrary. And so that is where we are now. Sometime next week, we understand the special prosecutor will go to court for a confirmation. And we expect that Madam Cecilia Dapa may also come up to say why the court should not grant that confirmation order. So, interesting days ahead. We will hope to see how it goes, and we will be following it and bringing you updates on that. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A few of your messages that have come through here. Jonathan Dokenu from Akachi says, I just hope this Cecilia Dapa's investigation will be different from the many others under Akufo-Addo. Prince Henry in Kofrodia says, I pray this action by the special prosecutor will not be in vain since we have the chief clearing agent in the person of the president. So one person is having such money and the government can pay NAPCO trainees and national service personnel. Say the future is pregnant. Well, the money is not state money as far as, the money is in the account. Prince Henry. Brilliant Fahad Ibn Kujeto Central Tongue Constituency. Okay, that's your name. Say, if Cecilia Dapa's account alone has, you mentioned some huge money. I don't know where that is from. Can you imagine what to be in the president's account? Well, I don't know. Al-Hassan Hamdan from Nyohini says President Akufo-Addo has already cleared Cecilia Dapa. So what's the special prosecutor worrying himself about? This is a test case for the special prosecutor to prove him wrong. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break, return, and go to Kumasi.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Charlie, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes na bonten father ma shanaba. Ma many papa nnuanum na dofo mo fie no mo akwentom. Hwe bibia anya so amani ska ko fie si fancy da na fie for abefo jawsi no parking. Ebe me Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how to you na atwa. Hwe Sukasa si adan abroni for an affordable luxury homes. All more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. Where you're fully gated or grants and communities. Or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities. Plus 24-hour security. Omo flexible payments and yeah, no my dear Dal Casa. Plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick unanswered stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and 055-369-7886. Charlie social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susie at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now let's go up north. 4 communities in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region have been submerged after 6 hours of rain today. Reports indicate that the main bridge linking Gambaga to Naralugu has been destroyed by the floodwaters, while farms and homes have been swept away. The assembly member for the Tunguri electoral area, Bagzua Yidana Idrisu, provides more updates or details on the situation.
Oh, it's very terrible. Many houses have fallen. Then the water has overflown the boundaries of the dam and then has made away with the bridge. The only bridge that links us to one of the communities, Tunguri, and then that of Bani. So as at now, cars can no longer pass to Nalergo nor pass to Walwale from Nalergo. So many houses are down, and many farms have been destroyed. And as at now, actually, we can't even tell that at other places, but it's very terrible. It's very terrible. There are some places where there are houses, and there is no sign of any structure at that place again. You know, most of the houses around are mud buildings. So even as the rain has stopped, there are houses that are stuck with water. I'm just from my nephew's house. We had to pull down some of the walls to allow the water to pass.
So you heard Bagzua Idana Idrisu, the assembly member for the Tunguri electoral area in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northern region. Let's speak to the NADMO regional director, National Disaster Management Organization regional director for the Northeast region, Alasan John Kweku. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. It's been some hours since we spoke to the assemblyman you just heard. What is the situation as we speak?
Well, good evening to your cherished listeners. And then, in fact, today has been a sad day for those of us in the Northeast region. This morning, we got up and we experienced a heavy downpour all over the region. And then, because of the rains, the whole place is flooded. And as you just heard from the assemblyman, there is a dam at Bani that's between Tunguri and Bani. So the dam collapsed and then washed the bridge away. So cars cannot access Walwale from Nalergo. And then the farms are flooded, communities are affected. So, and the accessibility to some of these communities too is compromised. So, not more officials this morning, we tried to get to some of the communities, and it wasn't easy. But what we did for now was to make sure that lives and properties are not lost. We try to prevent residents around these flooded communities from getting closer to the waters. So that's what we are doing at the moment. But I can tell you that the bridge is being washed away. Nobody can access Walwale from Nalergo. So the regional capital is cut off.
I see. So how are you getting relief materials to the people, given that the place has been cut off from the regional capital? How are you doing that?
Yes, we have communicated same to our headquarters in Accra. But like I said, when you have flood of this nature, what you need to do is to make sure that lives and properties are not lost. So that is exactly what we are doing. NADMO and then other security agencies, the police, the fire service, all of us were just on the field. And as I speak to you now, our men are still on the ground trying to give assistance to people who may be affected and also try to evacuate them to safe havens. That is what we are doing at the moment. And we are just hoping that maybe by tomorrow, the waters would have receded for us to be able to do proper assessment to determine the level of damage that has caused and then what assistance the people would need. So that is what we are doing currently.
So what's the scale, if you've done that assessment yet? I mean, the number of displaced persons, just roughly, I mean, the number of houses that have been damaged, etc. Is that an estimated figure you have?
Well, I will not be able to give an estimate because we need to be sure, because the whole region, almost every part of the region is affected. As I speak to you now, East Mamprusi, West Mamprusi, Mamprugu Maduri, we are in the midst of the race and the ground has already been saturated. So any rain at all can just aggravate the situation. So I don't need to give a wrong figure. We need to take our time to do the assessment. But as I said earlier on, we just want to ensure that lives and properties are not lost. That is our main focus now.
So is there any plan to shelter the people somewhere? Because given that their houses have been destroyed by the rains, what plans do we have?
There is a plan in place because we have our men on the ground, and then the West Mamprusi municipality, all the assemblies are ready to assist us to house the people, the affected people.
I see. But what kinds of houses are we talking about? I mean, because we hear many houses have been destroyed. What kinds of houses are we talking about in those areas?
If the whole beach can be washed away, you can imagine the force of the water. As I speak to you, even at the Regional Coordinating Council, there's this workers' bungalows. So the walls were pulled down because of the force of the water. So actually, over here, majority of our houses are mud houses. So once it rains and there is flood and it's soaked, then you see that the whole building will just be pulled down.
I see. Thank you so much. And we hope that relief comes to the people in good time. And we encourage you to continue doing what you are doing. And so that resources also from the center, we pray will get to you in good time so you can be of assistance to our countrymen.
Let me also use your medium to appeal to the general public, especially those who are living within these areas, not to play with the waters because we need everybody alive. They should be very cautious and be alert. And those that are affected should also try to move to higher grounds so that they can be safe. We don't want anybody to play with the flood waters because after water is very dangerous.
All right. Thank you so much. Alasan John Kweku, NADMO Regional Director for Northeast, Regional Director of NADMO for the Northeast region, speaking to us there on Eyewitnesses on the situation in the Northeast region. It says it's very bad and they are hoping that relief comes quickly so they can assist the people. Let's also speak to the Municipal Chief Executive for Wale Wale. That part of town, we understand, is also being very badly affected. Ari Meao Somo is the Chief Executive of the area. He joins us on the line. Hello, good evening, Honorable. What can you tell us about the destruction caused by the rains in Wale Wale?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you to your first listeners. Yes, in fact, we wake up this morning with a heavy downpour that brought a lot of distractions to the people in the municipality. Most of the communities got flooded today, including institutions. And most of our roads cut off, especially the main highway from Wale Wale to Nalergo. But as we speak, things are getting normal. We are, with the support of the NADMO and other security agencies, we have been able to rescue some of the areas and people. Also, some of the houses were destroyed, and then some farmlands too being destroyed. So we are working on that to see how best immediately what we can do to save our people. We have to look at a long-term solution to that.
I see, but were there no warning signals to tell that there was going to be heavy rains, around this time, so that people could prepare? Was there nothing like that?
Yes, I think today's rain, I must confess, has been very exceptional. In fact, in my lifetime, I've not seen that kind of downpour. It was very heavy. People, just expected that it will come that way. And most of our people, they are illiterate. They are not used to this meteorological systems where they give you sign warnings and other things. So it was not expected actually, and we did not also anticipate that the rain could go that way. However, the people themselves, with the education that we have been giving them, were prepared. If you look at the damage that caused today, it's a bit better than what happened in 2 years ago. It is as a result of the fact that there has been continuous education with the people, and they are also now looking at how best they can cooperate with the assembly and the NADMO to see to it that we follow due diligence when it comes to building of our houses. In fact, it is because of the nature of the rain that made that brought that kind of disaster. Because most of our houses are mud houses, and if it is very heavy, at least it has the tendency of damaging properties and the various houses, and that's what has actually happened to us.
I see. The previous NADMO director I was speaking to, he said the rains were so heavy and the force of the rain so heavy that they pulled down walls. Does that suggest that some of the build, or maybe people have built on waterways to the extent that they've constructed walls and buildings that the rain had to, pull them down in its quest to find its cause?
Yes, I think that could be. But looking at the situation on the ground, there are areas that we have never experienced such a disaster of flooding in the municipality. But the nature of the rain today has caused us to see that there are dangers coming ahead. which means that we have to re-strategize and replan. Actually, most of the houses are built without plan. And especially the various communities, the villages, they are built without plan, and they don't look at the waterways or not. So it is now recently, for the past 2 years, we have been doing that, and we are now seeing the impact of it. Otherwise, what had happened today would have been a very disaster for the municipality. But because of the continuous education that we have with them and engagement, I think that has even brought it a bit mad. However, we still have a very big task ahead because most of the houses and communities, as we speak, are moving with my district national director to another community, Takorayiri, because we were able to divert the water from the other communities. It went and now struck at another community. Now they are over there, and we are going to see how we can also support them to come out from the disaster. But so it hasn't actually been easy.
I see. We wish you well. But so is there any specific plan to shelter the people in your area? You know, because they've been displaced. Where are they? Are they in church buildings, mosques, schools? Where are they?
Those that are affected, we have spoken to communities nearby and houses that are not being destroyed to at least cater for them for now. We have to look at a long-term solution. Because as we speak now, we are trying to see how best this issue will be resolved. Will go off so that we'll now come to look at what terminal solution or what terminal effort can we put in place to make sure that our people are better off. In fact, they are important to us, and we must do whatever we can to make sure that they are better off. And that is what we are planning to do.
Very well. Making people better off also means that we enforce the laws or the bylaws. So if people build on waterways, those buildings must be pulled down before days or times like this come. I'm sure the municipality or the area has, a plan, and we must follow those plans so that where drainages must be, we allow drainages to be there rather than building in waterways. And Chief Executive, that is your work, really.
Yes, of course. And we're doing that. If you look at the last year, if you ask the people, I will tell you the measures are putting in place. We have come out to demolish a lot of houses that are on the, waterways, and even the main roads. We are doing some work in Walewale town, replanning the Walewale town roads, and then reconstructing the main Walewale town roads. And those houses that were built haphazardly without any plan, we're all full of. And that is what we are going to continue. For that one, we will have to, no matter how it will cost us, we will have to make sure that we put our municipality to order and make sure that people go by the law. We cannot just be taking the law into our own hands. And when it comes to disaster, we are now the to be blamed. So we have to all come together to see to it that there's a consensus as to what to do. Because we have local plans that we use when it comes to building. And as we speak, there's a new plan going on in the municipality across the major communities as we are speaking. We want to make sure that all the major communities within Western Proceed are well planned so that no one will come to do something that is not a plan for. So that's what we are trying to do. So we'll enforce the law, inshallah.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, MC Arimeyao Somo, Chief Executive for the Wale Municipal Assembly. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Few of your messages. Jones Adoboy in La says, good evening, Salam. We just hope NADMO will move in immediately to provide some relief and not neglect them like the government did to the people of Southern Volta. Christian Ameko from Temapong says the government should leave the tricycle operators to work since Akufo-Addo and Bawumia failed to provide jobs for the citizenry. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're taking a short break. We'll return with more.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line. A little tight by the hips. Covered sleeves. Off shoulder. Definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Whether I'm passing by the food market, visiting the salon, or filling up my tank for a spontaneous adventure with old friends in a new city. When asked, cash or card, it's always card for me. I switched from cash to card for all my payments with MasterCard. Now I get to do what I enjoy with ease.
Switch from cash to card for all your payments with MasterCard. MasterCard,
the secure and convenient way to pay.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now, the Member of Parliament for Asawase, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, has urged Pragya operators to avoid taking the law in their hands and comply with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly's directive to restrict their movement in certain parts of the metropolis. He has, however, assured of leading talks with city authorities to help address all concerns regarding the directive to ensure sanity in the region. The Asawase MP, who addressed scores of the Pragya operators, also called on city authorities to adopt a pragmatic approach in enforcing the directive.
It's just too unfortunate that they have not been able to understand themselves with the city authority, especially Kumasi Metropolitan Authority. I've tried to engage the mayor, the regional minister, and other persons higher. I perfectly agree that if you look at the way Kumasi is getting choked, if you look at the way most of our suburbs are getting choked, if you see some of the guys themselves are riding the Pragya, it's called for concern. I mean, so it's very genuine. But what we should not lose sight of as leaders is that you don't solve a problem by creating another problem. You try to solve the problem in a way that is a win-win situation. And I keep saying that, yes, what can we do to help? Look at the teeming youth that we have. We cannot run away from the fact that many of them, that's what they do for a living. And we are in a city where, if many will admit, crime seems to be going down. I can bet you it's largely because these guys have something to do. Because they have something to do. Yes, you may call it whatever, but look at the teeming youth. I mean, they are in thousands. So in trying to solve the problem, as leaders, we need to be very pragmatic so that we will have a win-win, like I said. My suggestion has always been that, yes, we cannot allow them to continue what they are doing as a business as usual. But what do we do to create some sanity? And in my view, the easiest way is to introduce maybe congestion charges. So you say that, okay, within this parameter, if you are entering, in my view, it is both the trotro, the Pragya, and then the one that's like the one that they carry small, the aboboya, or they call it.
The Member of Parliament for Asawase, the Honorable Mubarak Muntaka, has joined us on the line to help us appreciate really what he told the people and what his thoughts as he was sharing. The Honorable Muntaka, thank you so much for joining us on Eyewitness News. It's really a situation or a dilemma between enforcing the law, because the law frowns upon the use of tricycles for the kinds of things they use them for, and keeping the people employed, because they've gotten these things and they are using them, to keep themselves busy. Where really do we draw the line?
Well, good evening to you and your listeners. That's the dilemma that we have. We have a country where every one of us admits that things are not easy, and this thing did not start today. It started years. We all watched. It's grown, and now it's almost, if you check, if our statistical service could do a good job, they will tell you that my estimation is that we do not have less than 60% of our transport system being managed by this group. Go to the rural areas, go to almost all the villages, go to the peri-urban centers, go to the urban centers. I mean, these are things that have grown. So yes, I admit it comes with its own challenges, but the best way to deal with the challenges is not just to move from one extreme end to the other extreme end. You should know the implication of every government policy or every policy that you take. I mean, I'm sorry to say, most of us in the political leadership, we try to take decisions that are very easy. I mean, what they call the low-hanging fruit, things that you can do and think that, when I just do this, I'll solve a problem. No, you don't solve a problem like that. You don't solve one problem and create a much bigger problem than the one that you're solving. You see, when you say that because of the way they operate, you want to restrict them from the central business area of the city. What you are indirectly saying that you don't want them to work. Because, for example, if you are in the Kumasi, outer Kumasi, just check the traffic. Every morning, look at even Accra. Everybody drives to the central business center of Accra, and the evening everybody moves out. So the moment you say, don't come into the center, you are simply saying that don't just work. Because where are you picking people from? People are being picked from the peri-urban into the urban center. So my view was that, yes, I mean, there are issues. We are all not too happy the way it operates. And it's part of the reason why in the 2020 manifesto, NDC said that we're going to legalize so that we'll make sure that it is properly regulated. Because, you see, the way it is, because you have not legitimized it, it makes it the implementation trying to regulate is very difficult. But be it as it may, the assemblies can pass bylaws, just as they claim they passed this one. It is not to simply say, don't just come into this part of the city. Simply put, regulation. And my suggestion was that, say, yes, you can operate, but if you're coming into the center of the city, one, you have to have a sticker that is being issued by KMA. Therefore, you may have to pay for it. You should be maybe somebody 21 years and above. You should have a rider's license. So that when you do that, you automatically take off all the, for lack of better word, the bad nuts and keep the good ones. Because remember, if it is about the business center of Kumasi, if you know Kumasi very well, Keditia, around Konfanochi, around Edum, and what have you. In fact, the biggest nuisance is even the trotro and people who have taken over the pavement. So if you are dealing with the congestion, you need to deal with it holistically. Don't just pick and make it look as if you just want to find an excuse and dump it on a particular group. Deal with it holistically by introducing congestion charges. That's how we've seen in London. We've seen in so many other big cities. They don't prevent people from coming, but they try to incentivize your going into the center so that only those who really have something to do will have to go to the center. But if you do this, and you see, let me admit, I didn't anticipate the challenge, or I did not foresee the magnitude of the problem until I met them. I don't know whether your cameramen were there. I was shocked to my bone that this teeny youth, those who chose to even come to my office, my brother, they were well over 5,000. And do you know what that means? For a country in West Africa where security is now one of our biggest threats, you want to disarm all these young guys from what they do daily and sustain themselves in a country where we are not rich enough to just give people what they call a pounds card, where we just give people food stamps where they can go and pick food. We are not rich enough to give people some little money if they don't have job. You should be thinking about the bigger problem. Because you cannot, like I said, you cannot just solve one problem and create a much, much bigger problem. I'm just pleading with the state authority. I've called all those who matter. And look, can we review this? So there's the ID planning. And I can tell you, in planning and policy decision making, what you do is that you analyze the likely consequences of the policy that you are introducing. And ask yourself, the problem that you are entering this policy to deal with, will it create a much bigger problem, or you better live with the problem that you have? If you don't analyze that way, yes, you may be solving one problem, but you create a much bigger problem. I bet you, I'm in Kumasi. Ask a lot of people. If you recollect very well, 10, 15 years ago, in my area, as one said, in particular from the Tech Junction, from Tech Junction all the way to Amaga Junction, then to the airport and about, in day broad light, you see people blocking the road and seizing people's phone, watches, anything valuable in traffic. When was the last time we saw that? These young guys have found something to do. Yes, what they are doing is creating nuisance. Can we find a way of streamlining it? If we think that the only thing we do is that, put them out of job, well, I'm sorry to say we should prepare ourselves for the next major challenge that they will confront us with.
Not putting them out of job entirely. When we spoke to the transport department director of the KMA, he says they can operate, but they should operate, outside of the CBD to a large extent. But you spoke about it 2020. You spoke about 2020 and the promise to legitimate or to legalize it, and we wanted to legalize it so we can regulate it. But part of regulation also means that you tell them where they can go or where they can operate, so that we sanitize our CBD. You don't see all these tricycles moving up and down, but there will be spaces they can operate in. That will be part of regulation as well, like the others you mentioned. I mean, making them pay some registration fees, etc.
One place that you may not be able to prevent them from going is the central business area, because almost everybody that's been lifted is coming to the center of business. I mean, go to Delhi, go to a lot of Indian big cities, go to most of the big Chinese cities. They are far advanced than us. Ask people who travel there whether they find these things there or not. You see, when you have a teeming population that do not really have formal jobs, you need to be careful. Look at the kind of people that are into those business and ask yourself, supposing you dismantle or you mess that business, what would be the alternative? Let's be careful, because there are a lot of people who are losing hope. Let's not add on to people who feel hopeless, because the more people that we have that feel helpless and hopeless, the likelihood of having a kind of uprising and all the negative things that all of us may not want is very high. So let us be very careful, because believe me, what I've seen this morning was, for me, nothing is more scary than that. Almost every major street within a particular area were blocked. Massive traffic in Kumasi this morning because of what they were doing. I had to quickly try and call their leaders. Can we meet? Now I pleaded with them, please give us time, let us engage. I'm advising the city authorities. Let's meet them halfway. I would not sit there and pretend that most of the things that they do is good. But we should also remember there are a lot of good guys among them who are only fending for themselves, who are doing the best that they can to take care of their family that we do not have programs to be able to take care of. To pay their children's fees that we do not have programs to pay for, to have housing that we do not have programs to take care of. Let us not forget that and assume that because you and I have cars that we can drive, the massive population of our country, almost, I can guarantee you, more than 50% of our people use those means to commute from one end to another. Let us not let these young guys feel hopeless. If they do, it has consequences, and all of us need to be mindful of that.
I see. So what you're calling for is an overhaul. The baseline is that it's illegal. So the first thing that must be done will be to review the law, and that will take a bit of time. And so I'm not sure what you're asking for, that we relax the law until we.
No, I mean we have what do you call it, the assemblies that can pass their bylaws. Are you getting it? And it is that bylaw that they use in saying that don't come into this area. I say review that. Put a better streamline. I mean, you have challenges when they all troop in. So put a guideline that will help deal with that problem without necessarily preventing saying they shouldn't come into this area. That's all I'm saying.
I see.
Once we try to nationally look at what we can really do, because believe me, there are more pragya on the streets of Ghana than vehicles, than the kind of vehicle that you and I drive. Check, there are more. If you go almost, I mean, it's only in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi that you don't even see much of them. In most of our peri-urban, these are the main means of transport. Let's not be running away from that. I mean, we allow it to be imported in our country. They pay all the duties. They sell them. They go and register them, and they drive them. They are already in the hands of our citizens. We can choose to be ostracists when we pretend that they don't exist. but they do in large numbers. And those who drive them are the teeming, jobless youth who do not just have jobs, because we are not able to create enough jobs to bring them on board. In my constituency, believe me, I know graduates who drive this project. They finish here in university, they finish Kumasi Technical University. There are no jobs. They are driving this to earn a living. You cannot just pretend that this doesn't exist. And just pretend that, all the graduates are into Citi FM and all the good jobs. Many of these guys that you see that are driving, I know, I can count, if we were to do this, I know no less than 10 graduates who are driving this project because they cannot find jobs. So let's be careful what we are doing.
I see. I want to thank you so much, the Honorable, for speaking to us. Very important matters you have raised. We hope that the discussions are fruitful. But some of their tricycles were seized. Are you trying to broker that deal as well, so that tricycles are released?
Yes, even 12 of them are in remand. We are engaging to ensure that all these things are normalized, because I believe that, yes, what they did the day before yesterday with the clash with the police was wrong, and I acknowledge that, and I continue to urge our police to be professional. I will be the last to encourage anybody, for whatever reason, to vent his frustration or her frustration on a security person, because they are protecting all of us. Yes, those incidents were very unfortunate. 12 of them have been remanded. Some of their tricycles have been seized. We are in the process of looking at all that and see how we can bring peace, not only in our communities and the city, but in their homes too. So all that is on the table that we are looking at, and we hope to be able to find solution to all those problems.
Very well. Thank you so much, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, Member of Parliament for Asawasi in the Ashanti region. He intervened today to bring some sanity in the ongoing stalemate between the police and, the KMA officials and the police on one side, and then the tricycle operators in the CBD of the metropolis of Kumasi. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break, return with Citi Business News. Tonight on Point Blank, we have the presidential candidate for the LPG, Kofi Apalu, in the studio. You don't want to miss that.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citibusinessnews.com. My name is Akusia Otre. Let's settle for details of our stories now. Economist Dr. Patrick Isuming has criticized calls for the resignation of the governors of the Bank of Ghana over 60 billion cedis loss the central bank incurred in the 2022 fiscal year. According to the Economist, the Bank of Ghana is not known for experiencing losses. As such, the need to give the bank a chance to realign its operations and make profits this year. Dr. Patrick Isuming comments come on the back of growing pressure for the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison and his two deputies to step down from office over the loss.
There's a specific context to the losses that were made. And I think if you take the context into consideration, it's not like they have a history of making losses for which we say reforms are needed or corrective action is needed. That's not the case here. So I think to the extent that these are one-off and it's expected that they will return to profitability this year and beyond, I don't think there should be any cause for alarm. And then we should just make a substantial changes to how the BOG works because of this. What I know is that it's not helpful. When, issues about how the Bank of Ghana does its work becomes part of the political football, then there's problem.
That was economist Dr. Patrick Isuming. Now, in a bid to reverse the country's rising inflation, managers of the economy are being admonished to consider a mix of monetary support and real sector interventions to tackle the worrying situation. The call comes as inflation for the month of July 2023 has increased to 43.1%, up from 42.5% in June 2023. This is the third time in a row that the country's inflation rate has inched up after declining from December 2022. According to data from the Ghana Statistical Service, the primary drivers of the rise were food and non-alcoholic beverages, as food inflation increased by 0.8 percentage point. While food inflation rose significantly to 55.0%, food and non-food inflation jumped to 33.8%. Here's government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna on how this can be addressed.
Given what we are seeing, which is purely a distributional issue, we need to complement monetary financing with other real sector interventions. Some of the real sector interventions is what we're talking about. See how you can consistently increase your agricultural output, keeping in mind the population that we have. We see increases in our agricultural products, specifically crops, but the discourse around per capita consumption of each of the agricultural products is yet to surface. Given the population increase and given the agricultural products increase, can we confidently say that agricultural products are increasing? Then the second point is about distributional issues. We are working with the Ministry of Food and Agri to map out where we have all the agricultural products and then look at the other demographics like population and so on and so forth, and see how we can effectively distribute goods and services given the peculiarities that we have in the respective geographical locations equitably. And this is a conversation that has started. We are hoping that with all the development authority and so on that we're thinking about as a country, it would kind of help solve some of these challenges.
That was government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim. Now, despite the impact of the domestic debt exchange program on the banking sector, which has caused the Agricultural Development Bank PLC to lose over 370 million cedis in the 2022 financial year, ADB is making strides in its profitability for the first half of 2023. The bank has made some positive gains by recording over 52 million cedis profits after tax. Speaking at the 36th annual general meeting of the bank in Accra, the managing director of ADB Bank PLC, Alhassan Yakubu Tali, says the bank is working within a 2-year strategy to restore its fortunes.
The impact of DDEP to start with, which has led to the loss of 375 million Ghana cedis. And the need to re-strategize goes without saying. Thus, the board has approved a 2-year strategy, which we are currently running with. The results so far from our half-year performance shows that we are on the right track, and the bank has the capacity to turn things around. As at half-year, we had returned to profitability with a half-year profit of over 52 million Ghana cedis. We further reviewed our 2023 budget upwards, and we are going to work hard to double this profitability level by the end of the year. However, we must not forget that we have a second round of DDEP horizon, which will affect us, but we remain very positive.
That was the managing director of the Agricultural Development Bank PLC, Alhassan Yakubu Tale. Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, says it will fully participate in government's alternative domestic debt exchange program, including pension funds. Or the government intends to restructure 31 billion cedis pension funds in the second phase of the DDEP, which will affect ESLA PLC and Dache Trust PLC. SNIT says it is satisfied with the new provisions of the program, assuring that the decision to sign onto the exchange will not affect its payment of pensions to beneficiaries. Dr. John Ufori-Tenkran is Director General of SNIT.
The government has tabled a new offer for pension funds that are holding government bonds. The terms of the offer certainly are better than, I think, the first one that was floated. We do hold some government paper. It's about a little less than 1 billion Ghana cedis of government paper. We will look at it and then we will subscribe, make sure that we have enough liquidity to be able to pay our immediate benefits when they come due. You know, at SNET, the way we pay our pensions, part of it is from the fixed income, which will be partly affected. Part of it is from contributions, and part of it will be from other investment income that we have. We've had a bit of headwinds vis-a-vis dividends from the bank. But we believe that all this is temporary and that in the next year, couple of years or so, we'll be back to trend. But I think I'd like to assure our contributors that we will keep the faith with them.
Dr. John Ofori-Tinkran is Director General of SNET. Finally, the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications has reiterated calls for stakeholders in the digital ecosystem to revise the cost of both smart devices and data to make it more accessible. According to the Chamber, it will help bridge the gap that still exists in the digital space and enhance connectivity. Speaking at the 22nd Knowledge Forum in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashibe, further emphasized the need for manufacturers to incorporate the Ghanaian languages onto the settings of the digital devices.
We need to ensure that a lot of trust will be built, in these systems. And then for me, another fundamental thing in all of this is that in terms of the language that we use for most of these e-services, they are still in English, And so when you have my grandmother, for example, in Chama, for example, who cannot read English, and then you want to, because of the issues of cost as well, she has a feature phone. How is she going to do the USSD things? We need to find a way in which our technology people would be able to provide these services in their local language, not even just in text, but in video, in audio, and all of that, so that if my grandmother wants to buy or wants to sell something, he can speak to the device. And then the device will be able to tell it's actually her from her voice, from her face, and all of that. And we need to also find a way of driving the cost of these devices down. And that one, I know government did some work in the past about the taxation. We need to get all the governments in Africa speaking as one voice to these manufacturers of these devices. They have milked the R&D for too long. They need to reduce the price point so that it will be affordable.
That was Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashibe. Still on ICT-related matters, the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization has emphasized the need for Ghanaians to leverage best practices that showcase ICT for sustainable development. Amapoma Boateng's Deputy Minister for Communication, and she also made these comments at the launch of National ICT Week and the World Technology Forum here in Accra.
We must create a comprehensive program designed to showcase and embrace the transformative impact of ICT in various sectors. We aim to bring together stakeholders from government, private sector, academia, and civil society to foster collaboration, innovation, capacity building, and knowledge sharing. From e-governance solutions, streamlining public service delivery, to digital literacy programs, empowering our citizens. And we will showcase best practices that leverage technology for sustainable development. We recognize that the key to successful digital transformation lies in collaboration and inclusivity.
That was Deputy Minister for Communication and Digitalization, Amapoma Boateng. Well, that's it for City Business News and Eyewitness News. It was powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Akosia Otre. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
It's 21 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to the Point Blank segment of Eyewitness News. Tonight, my guest wants to be president. He wants to change the economy for good, or for the better. He wants to create jobs. He wants to improve education, improve healthcare delivery in the country, and empower the young people. His name is Kofi Apalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana, the LPG. Kofi, welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, we knew you as the Independent People's Party flag bearer or leader. Now we hear you are, the last election you contested as the LPG presidential candidate. Why did you change from IPP to LPG?
We changed the name from IPP to LPG in 2017. We realized that people were confused with the word independent. So instead of relating us as independent political party, they were rather referring to us as independent candidate. So, and also we are a member of the Liberal International. So for people to know where we are coming from and our ideological standing, that is why we decided to change the name to the Liberal International.
So the ideological and then the LPG really is also like liquefied petroleum gas. So why do you change from one IPP independent or independent party or power producer to LPG, all in the energy sector?
Yeah, it means we
are strong on energy.
Yeah, we believe in that one. We believe in the power.
So what then is the ideology that you profess? What's your standing? What's your view on things? What ideological position do you espouse?
We are promoting liberalism, and we want to fill the gap between the MPP and the NDC. You know, MPP is on the right and NDC is on the left. Socialist International and then Democratic Union. So we are the Liberal International. We are in the middle, and our main focus is on fundamental human rights and also supporting free enterprise and also supporting small taxes or lower taxes and helping those in the lower class to join the middle class. But how we are in for the middle class.
How different are these from what the NDC and MPP have been doing? Of course, they claim to be on the right or center of right, center of left, etc. But they virtually do the same thing. So how different is they do the same thing. So how different will you be?
Yeah,
really?
Because they are confused, because they are not following their ideological lineage. Just that they are trying to pick everything from everywhere, because those are the MPP. They are supposed to focus on the top,
the business class.
Yeah, the top notch.
But they say that they are for the middle class. They are for businesses.
No, they are not for the middle class. Yeah, those who are for the liberals are for the middle class. We are the middle class. We are the middle class party, the centrist party.
I see, but they claim that they are also the party of business executives party for the middle class. The NDC also says things like that.
Okay.
But do ideologies really work in our politics? That it doesn't matter which ideological position you espouse.
It matters. It matters because people joining your party should know where you are taking them to. Only that some people, they join political party without knowing what the political party is all about, So that's another issue. But going forward, I can see that Ghana, we are changing. Ghana, we are getting to understand even issues. Before, we were not even centering on issues. We were just saying anything anyhow, But this time, especially in the last 2016, 2020 elections, you could see we were espousing issues, policies, direction, what one would do when he's given the opportunity to serve the country. And people more or less voted based on that. So I believe going forward, people begin to understand that, hey, why should I vote for this guy? Why should I vote for this party? You would not just wake up in the morning and just go and vote. You would think twice and then analyze everybody's plans and policies and programs before you go and cast your vote.
But do you think, maybe I call you the minority parties or the smaller party, do you think you guys are doing enough to win the hearts and minds of the people? Because people say they are tired of NDC, MPP, but in the end, they are the same people they go for, which perhaps means that you guys are not doing enough to build confidence in the people. The people don't see you as any serious alternative for them to even go vote for you. So we still get this NDC, MPP top heavy, and then we just throw in a few votes for you guys.
No, the problem is with the media. The problem is the media, because the media focus more on MPP and NDC noise. I will not say ideals or whatever. It's about their noise. Who is making loud noise, and then they will just be following, and then they'll be writing.
But if you put out credible policy alternatives, the media will talk to you. If you espouse certain credible policies, alternative policies which are good,
the media
will follow you.
The media is not really focusing on people's ideas and programs. They are rather focusing on who can insult well,
really,
who can attack somebody's personality and stuff like that.
In the last election, the media focused on the issues: one district, one factory. The big push, free SHS. A whole lot. These are issues, but we didn't really hear anything major from the LPG, for example. But you were in the race as well.
Yeah, but LPG, we were talking about putting money directly into people's pocket.
How? Direct transfers?
Yeah.
You do them cash?
Oh, yes.
You go meet them. But they do that under LEAP.
Yeah, no, that's non-starter. We have to be serious, because you can't just give somebody 80 CDs and thinking the person can use 80 CDs to do anything.
But where will you get the money from? How are you going to get money and put it in people's pockets?
Yeah, you have to create money. Money, we create them. We don't inherit money, we create money. So,
how?
There's so many things that you can do to create money. I believe that when you pump money into the system, you help the economy to grow. You have to stimulate the economy. 2009, when Obama became president of the United States, you know what he did? He pumped money into the system. He stimulated the economy because everything was down, So you can't run an economy thinking that money will just grow organically.
But we don't have the money. We've gone to IMF for a bailout. Where are we going to get the money to pump into the system? Just like that?
No, we don't need dollars to pump into the system before the system works.
You print it?
Money.
You print it?
Oh, money, there. We have so many ways to print money. You don't necessarily need to print the currency. You can create accounts. You can create an account, ledger. Ledger can work for you. Because sometimes I don't even understand why a contractor will do a project and you're supposed to pay the project and you are not paying, and you are leaving the contractor to be struggling in this, in that situation to me, it's not the best. It doesn't help the economy to grow. It doesn't create jobs. Doesn't sustain jobs. And we need to start thinking.
How will you do the ledger thing? I'm interested. How will you create it? How will you do that? The ledger, you create it and you create the account. And how would it work?
Yeah, you see, as an accountant, that's how I see it.
You manufacture the zeros.
Oh, no, for manufacturing the zeros. You see, the central bank, for instance, how much do we owe all the contractors in this country? If you owe them, say, 10 billion cedis, it's a debt that the government have to service. Pay the contractors, for the contractors to go back to work, pay and sustain their businesses. So what do? Whether you like it or you're going to pay. So why don't you consolidate them? Give it to the central bank, okay? Borrow the money and then take your time to pay the central bank so that you can pay your contractors and all contractors will go back to field and start working.
But it's not like it's a one-off, so that will be contractors. They will go back and work and you incur other debts.
Then why do you give them the projects in the first place? If you know you are not going to pay, why do you give them the projects? So you shouldn't give them projects. But if you know that the projects are necessary and then you give them, you have to find a way to pay them. So you consolidate everything, you give it to them, and then you take your time. You can come a payment to one person, and that is the central bank. And you take your time to pay them, you work and pay. Now, these businesses will be in operation. They will sustain jobs. The economy will be growing. You know, when you put $1 in an economy, it has to revolve 27 times. But when you stop putting money, the whole economy will start, and there won't be any jobs created. And even those that have been created will collapse. But here, because we don't pay unemployment benefit, when we are destroying people's business, we don't give a damn. We don't care because there's no obligation in the state to pay unemployment benefit. But where we have that obligation, that knowing that if you don't sustain jobs, the burden will be on you. You will be careful. Especially somebody can just wake up in the morning and just open his mouth and say, oh, don't patronize this product, don't do this business with this person, don't do that. Without thinking that those businesses will collapse, but because you don't have the obligation.
Have you been following the Bank of Ghana issues? I mean, the annual report and all of that, the losses they posted, etc., and the political discussion that has, come there from. NDC saying that they've given the governor and his deputies 21 days to resign, else they will occupy the BOG premises, etc. Have you been following that discussion generally? What do you make of the losses posted by the central bank?
Oh, it's just sheer noise, just making noise.
Which people?
The NDC people, they're just making noise, because it's a joke of the century,
that the central bank governor will resign?
Yeah,
why he cannot resign? This is posted such huge losses, about 60 billion.
That's $6 billion.
Yeah, but that's 60 billion of Ghana's currency. We've gone to IMF for 3 billion. And if he's cost the country $6 billion, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, $6 billion.
So that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but
and he cannot resign because it's
why do you want him to resign? Why do you want him to resign? Because is that the only central bank that has incurred losses in the 2022? Check. Swiss bank. They incurred 143 billion. United States.
But we are not the Swiss. We are not. I know the next example you give is the Bank of England. But we are not in the same league.
No.
So tell me about Benin. Tell me about Nigeria.
No, I'm coming.
Tell me about Kenya. Tell me about Ethiopia. Then we can have a conversation.
No, I'm coming there. I'm coming there. Singapore. Yeah, they reported $23 billion. Sweden, they reported 7 billion. Okay, losses. With all their technology and everything, their efficiency and everything, if they are able to report, let's say, $143 billion, Swiss central bank, then it means it's not news. Here in Ghana, we've reported $6 billion equivalent losses.
No, but it's the size of the economy. The size of our economy is smaller.
No. What has contributed to that? What has contributed to that? It's just a write-off of government debt. I mean, if you owe yourself money,
you give government money and later you say you've written it off. And indeed, the conversation really too has been about the involvement or otherwise of Parliament. Parliament should be involved or informed about this write-off. You don't do it, you just sit in your office and you say you've written it off.
No, the government cannot pay.
No, but there's due process. I mean, there's a reason why we have the laws and the rules.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think there's anywhere they are faulted.
But if they've broken the rules or they've breached the rules,
we need to know the law that they've faulted.
Yes, like the deficit financing, for example, 5% of the previous year's revenue. They've gone way past that.
But this debt that you're talking about, do you know how long it has been the boost?
No, but this was just 2022.
Before you write
2022,
you know,
2022.
City as a city business, Citi FM, Citi whatever. You know, they write off bad debt.
No, but this is different. This is just last year. Let's even talk about the operational. Let's even talk about the operational expenses they incurred.
No. You see, but the bad debt they wrote off wasn't like they incurred a debt in last year and then they wrote them off. It has been the boost for long, and then they have to write them off.
Let's even talk about the operational issues. So, for example, spending over 190 million on car maintenance. That's a prudent use of resources.
You see, that's another problem.
That's a prudent use of resources.
That's another problem.
Spending 90 million on travels.
No, as an accountant, let me tell you something. You see, we easily open and then criticize and condemn people. But I don't do that kind of politics. You see,
but it's easier for you to criticize the NDCU
how many cars do they have?
Criticize the government, really.
No, how many cars do they have? We have to first check how many cars do they have, and who are they paying their car maintenance? What is involved in the car maintenance? You see,
but is that kind of expenditure reflective?
No, just
of the mood of the country, of the financial position of the country.
No.
Is that reflective?
No. When you come to Citi FM, maybe they will hear your voice. They will hear what is my Bernard.
Bernard, yeah.
They will hear this. They will hear that. They think they are the only people working. Even right now, as we are talking, people will think that it's just between me and you. But there are just another gentleman beside you. The other producers in there who are also helping you to get your job done. So tomorrow, your company reports that, they are paying salary this amount. Somebody will say somewhere, hey, why is Citi FM spending that kind of money? Without the person going first to know who are involved.
So you think that those expenses were justified?
It's justified because
it's huge sums of money like that on travels.
No, until you go in there to know what constitutes that. Other than that, you can just wake up somewhere and condemn people just like that.
You have lived in the Ashanti Kumasi for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, before you came in, I'm sure you heard the news about the tricycle operators, etc. The KMA and the police trying to get them off the central business district because they say they caused congestion, etc. What's your thinking around that? Young people who want jobs using tricycles, and you are getting them off the street. What's your thinking around that?
No, to me, that's not the kind of job we should create for these young people.
Yeah, but we've not been able to create a job.
Yes,
so what's your blueprint?
That's why we need to change.
What's your blueprint? What's the LPG party's blueprint for job creation? I mean, reducing poverty, etc.
I believe that we need to understand that every young man out there, one way or the other, possesses some vision. Because when you go to the good book, that's Joel chapter 2, verse 28. He says, in the latter day, I will pour my spirit on all flesh. Your young people will see visions.
Your old men shall dream dreams.
Exactly. So if the young people are going to have visions, then we, the leaders of this country, should sit down and think that we have to provide them the needed support for them to realize their visions. So we should make that provision for them. When you go to the same Bible, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18, it says, lack of vision, the people perish. So meaning that we are where we are because we don't have the vision. Or we have the vision, but we don't get the needed support. But when just suppose that to say America, you realize that in America, they call that place land of opportunities. Why do they call land of opportunities? Because when you have a vision, they will support your vision. This computer here on my left is their computer. The guy who started this business was a young man, 19 years, Michael Dell. He started this, he got the needed support, and he built it. The operating system working in there is Microsoft operating system. The guy started at the age of 19. He got the needed support, and he built it. Even your phone that you are using, that is the iPhone. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, they came together to build. Wozniak was 24 years, and Steve Jobs was 19 years. They did that. And then this guy was Larry Page. We all go in and say we are Googling for something. We want to get information. Instead of saying we are searching for something, you say, Google it for me. Google, the guy who did that, or Gmail, Larry Page, was at the age of 21.
So the point is that what?
The point is that we have neglected our young people. Instead of bringing our young people together, understand their vision, and support their
And now
vision.
they found a job for themselves, riding tricycles. They must put body and soul together. These are bread and butter matters.
Exactly.
They must
that is
feed.
why LPG is going to do something different.
Like
we are
what?
going to make sure if you are not working, we pay you unemployment benefits. We support you with income to make sure we give you sustainable income.
How are you going to do that? You create accounts and create ledgers, like you said earlier before.
But how do you run an economy? Are you happy to make laws in your boots and then you are sitting there and you are hungry? That's the kind of the black man mentality. They just wake up in the morning, go and sit in the parliament. They say they are making laws. They make laws and then the laws will just entangle them and then they are suffering. This is why people that we are learning from. Okay, they don't make that kind of laws. They make laws and make sure that they protect the people. So the people must eat. So man must eat.
Yes.
So we need to create an environment such that the young people here can make it and prosper here. You have diamond, you have bauxite. You don't add value to the bauxite. Look at this. This here, it's a bauxite. What are we doing? Have we built the bauxite refinery for all these years?
We said we'll build it, but we've not built it.
Yeah. When I become president, I will do it. Because I don't see why we should
talk is cheap. That's a problem our men and others are facing now, because they said a lot of things before 2016 and it's become difficult in implementing a lot of them.
Remember in your class, when you were in secondary school or primary school, something like that, you were about 40 in the class. But when the results came, one was first, one was last. So we are not thinking the same way.
So in your class, you will be first, and Nado and Bamia will be last. Is that
I will be first, because I believe that I should be able to add value to. Why should we import rice to this country? Why should we import poultry to this country? Why should we import maize, onion, and all those kind of stuff? Why should we import them? Even clothing. Why should we import clothing? Why should we import shoes?
On some governance issues. Before you came in, we heard the news about the Office of the Special Prosecutor freezing some assets of Cecilia Dapaah. What's your thinking around the whole Cecilia Dapaah scandal?
Actually, I don't know what is going on there, because if they frozen her accounts, why? It's their business. They are protecting the assets of this country. So if they believe that maybe he has gotten some award, who am I to challenge them?
So you support the ongoing, investigation into their lifestyle?
Yeah, they have to investigate everybody.
So you don't support the fact you're an accountant with money. You don't support the fact that it was proper for her to keep those huge sums of money she kept in the house before
because of the system that we operate here. The system that we operate here, it encourages people to keep money in the house.
How?
Yeah, because you go to the bank, you deposit your money, and then they report you. Mr. Palu just deposited this kind of money in the account. What is that?
Maybe you're not sure that your salary or the jobs you do could get you that money. Why shouldn't they be concerned?
No. Why should that be their problem?
No, but we should know. If you are a public figure, you are working. We are paying you, and now you come deposit a lot of money. We have to find out where the money is from, because we do not pay you that much.
And then you go and put money in there, and then they report you.
Yes, I don't work. I'm not a public servant. I don't work for the state. Doesn't pay me. I pay the state officials.
Yeah, no, everybody, including you, because you cannot say only the public figure.
No, what I mean
can
is,
give my money to you.
No, what I mean is,
I can put my money in your name.
What I mean is, when a public official holds money,
it shouldn't be only public official.
Holds money beyond what the state pays a person. It should raise eyebrows. That's the point I'm making.
To me, we went to Europe and we learned Basel 3 and Basel 2 and whatever, and we think we're implementing them. Okay? But every day, drugs move to United States. All their sophisticated whatever. Still, drugs goes to United States. So we don't jump. We are jumping too much in this country.
We should be doing bad things?
No, not bad things. We are running too much.
So what should we do? We should be working.
We have to take time and sit down and reflect.
Which means what?
You don't just go and pick something else. You are just doing it, my brother.
To the Basel 2 and 3 and things.
They just go and they are doing it.
Let's tell me about LPG. You still be the flag bearer?
Yes, I'm going to.
Are you a flag bearer for life or something? No. Nobody contests you.
No, somebody is contesting me.
Somebody you have planted there to contest you, so there's a semblance of democracy in your party.
No. It's a political party.
Because it's like you are the face of the party. You are the alpha and omega of the party.
No, the Rawlings started NDC.
So you have national executives who work.
Yes, we do. We do have national executives. We have our
your office at Kokorome is your national office, right?
Yeah,
it's functional. It works.
Yeah, it works every day. Every day when except weekends, we are there all the time. So you can pop in one of these days and see. We are a serious political party. We are not like the rest.
When are you going for your Congress to elect your national executives and your parliamentarians?
Yeah, that will be next year.
Next year?
Yeah, because the one we did was in July 2020. So we are going, next one will be March 2024, sorry.
So the key message you are leaving with the youth of the country is that when they vote for you, or if they vote for you and you come, you put money in their pocket. You put direct money in their pocket directly.
Exactly. Every child below 18 years will receive child benefit. And then those above 18 years will receive unemployment benefit. Those who are not working. We want to put
And you
money.
continue with the free SHS.
Why not?
And in the form it says, or you do something about it.
In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to merge the JHS and the SHS together to become one school.
But that's what this minister is trying to do. The education minister is trying to do.
Okay, I don't know, but we are going to.
But you don't follow trends. You want to be president. You don't follow trends.
No, I've not heard anything, so okay. I don't waste energy. So we are going to merge the JHS and the SHS to become one school, such that we turn them into day schools. Okay.
Oh, no boarding again.
No boarding.
Really?
No boarding. But what is the use of boarding school?
To bring national cohesion.
Who told you boarding school bring national cohesion? Those were the days, not today. Today we don't need it. Because we are living among ourselves. We have Northness in Accra, we have Evers in Accra, we have everybody in Accra.
You and Everman, you were in Ashanti region for a long
exactly.
time. I see. Very well. So thank you. We've run out of time. It's been exciting speaking to you. Unless you have some final words.
What I would say is that everybody, including you, should vote for me. So that we change MPP and NDC. We throw them away.
But people think you are pro-MPP.
No, I'm not. You see, me, I don't do satanic politics. You know, I do angelic politics. You know, satanic politics whereby the witchcraft politics, where you are always wishing the government in power
evil.
No, I don't do that kind of politics.
I see. All right. Thank you so much, Kofi Apalu, are you presidential candidate or founder of
anyone that you call me
okay. Founder and presidential candidate of
the next president of Ghana.
And the next president of Ghana, he says, of the LPG. He has been my guest on Point Blank. Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks so much for the conversation. The show is being produced by Nana Kobna Wilson, Beverly in London, and then Sami Wiafi, technical assistance provided by Daniel Squashi. Earlier, you heard Akosia Ochri. My name is Salom Adonu. Thank you so much for doing the listening. Catch you again same time tomorrow.